everyone, this is Mary from SVGCuts, and it seems like summer just started not that long ago, but it's already time to start thinking about back to school projects. So I'm pretty excited about my really fun back to school projects that I've been coming up with this week. And I think it's going to be really fun to make them for teachers and kids and grandkids, nieces and nephews, yada yada. And the cool thing is that you could also use them for end of the year gifts, or if you put a Christmas spin on them and used Christmas paper, you can make really cool teacher Christmas gifts. So I think this is really cool. Actually, my sister is a teacher, and a long time ago, a couple years ago, when I first started making a lot of crafts, she really wanted me to make a plaque for her classroom with her name on it and everything. So I think any teacher would totally love this. And it's cool because if you want to use the chalkboard paper like I've used here, you can write on it with chalk, which is a really cute touch. Or if you want to just make it with plain black paper, you could cut out the letters in white and just glue them on too. So you could go either way with that. Super cool, totally love it. And we also have our cute little three-dimensional apple container. And the cool thing is that the lid comes off and you can put some cute little gifts in here. So I went ahead and I put some little like gift wrap shredded paper in there, and then I found a really cute little teacher candle that fit just perfectly in there. So totally love it, and it's nice and sturdy and it's not that hard to put together. So I'm going to show you how that goes together. I've already got all my pieces cut out. Then we've also got a really cute little lunchbox here, which is going to be super versatile for any kind of kid project or even for grown-ups, whatever kind of twist you want to put on it. You could even use like floral paper and do some nice 3D flowers here. So it's really cute how you can see through the top. And the cool thing is that it will stay closed, but you can also obviously open it up and you can see your little gifts in there. So I also found some more fun little teacher gifts, and I had a lot of fun using really cute classroom paper for it. So I think that's really awesome. And we also have our cute little card, which looks like a little red schoolhouse. And if you look closely, you can see that the siding on the schoolhouse is dimensional because it folds up like an accordion. So that gives it a really nice touch, and you can write whatever you want on the inside to go with your gift that you're going to make. So I think if you made one of these for a child, it would make back to school like super special. If you made it for your child or your grandkid, neighbor, whatever it may be. So I know I'd be so excited if I was going back to school and someone made it so special by making me a really cool little gift. So we also have a scrapbook page here, and it's real easy to do because the photos are super straightforward. They're just 4x6s. And since my paper is so like bold and colorful and full of patterns, I went ahead and made my photos black and white just so it all looked good together, because I think if they were in color it would just be way too much. So if your paper is not as crazy as mine, then color photos would also totally work. And it's real easy. You just pick out your cute paper and let your machine do the cutting and put it together. So super fun. You can add that to your stash of really great scrapbook pages. So finally, the paper that I used, as you can see, is really pretty. It's vintage. It's by Graphic 45, and it's called an ABC primer. And I took a little tip from Tinley on our design team, and she let me know that when she gets paper, sometimes she likes to get the small stack as well. And I've never bought the small stacks of paper because I always thought, well, what would I do with that? I need the 12 by 12. But the cool thing is that since it's like a miniature version of each sheet of paper, if you are cutting out something really small, sometimes it's nice to have a smaller pattern. So if you want to do that, it's a cool little tip. And this paper is just gorgeous and vintage and gives a really nice look, but you could also give it a more modern look with different paper. Like I've used this in the past, so I didn't want to use it again, but this is also a really good go-to stack, and it seems to be always available at the craft store, like at Michael's and Joann. So that's by DCWV, and that's called the grade school stack. And they've also got a high school stack, which is a little more mature if you're making it for an older child. So that could work too. And I've also seen online by We Are Memory Keepers, they have a new back to school stack that's out, which looked really cute too. And then finally, I found this at Joann Fabrics, and it's by DCWV, and it's called the Chalkboard Stack. And it's just several different colors of chalkboard paper which you can cut on your cutting machine and then you can write on it with chalk. So I used that chalkboard paper for my cute little sign here, which I think is adorable. And you can also get creative and make other kinds of chalkboard looking projects. So I think it's really cute. So I have all my pieces cut out to show you how these 3D things go together. So let's take a look. So let's go ahead and get the easiest thing out of the way first. This little schoolhouse card. I just wanted to show you how this siding back here works because it's like an accordion fold. So you've got your long piece and all you're going to do is just fold it where it's already scored by your machine. And you're just going to put glue inside each piece, and then on the back you're also going to glue everything shut. Then you've got this little square here that you just fold in half and you just glue at the top. So then all you're going to do is just glue that right here and then add everything that goes on top of that. So next let's put together our three-dimensional apple container. And for the pieces we've got these two which go together and form the bottom, and these two form the lid. And then we've got these three shapes here, and then two sets of these panels which will go on at the end. We've also got our leaves here. So let's start with the bottom of the apple. And all we're going to do is I'm going to put some glue on this tab here and on this tab. And I'm just going to put it in place by just lining up the edge with the fold. And I'm just going to hold it for a little while it dries. And then I'm just going to work my way down the whole piece, doing the same exact thing. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other identical piece. So I finished both pieces here, and now the next thing to do is put them together by putting glue on all three of these tabs on the end. Just a nice thin, even layer. We don't want so much that it's going to be coming out the side. And then just go ahead and line it up again, real nice with the edge meeting the fold. And then just flip it over and do the same thing on the other side to close it up. And just go ahead and put each tab in place to close up the bottom of your apple. So now I'm going to take a look at these three shapes here. And this one with the hole in the middle, that's going on the lid, so we can put that aside. And then that leaves two pieces. And the smaller one is the liner, which goes on the inside at the end to finish it off. So that leaves us with this larger one here, which we're just going to glue on the bottom by putting a nice thin little line on each tab. And just go ahead and put that in place, lining up the edge with each fold. I'm just kind of doing it like one at a time, making sure that it's lined up as nicely as possible. And it's kind of moving out of place, and I'm just moving it back into place. And as the glue dries, it will stay put in the proper spot. Okay, so there's my bottom. I'm going to flip it over and push those down from the other side. And then I'm going to grab the other shape here. And I'm just going to glue that right into the bottom to cover up those tabs and just make it look nice. So there's the bottom, all done. Now we are just going to take these two pieces here, which form the lid, and I'm going to do pretty much the same thing I did before, just putting a little glue on these top tabs. And there's a third tab which is really tiny here, and you don't need to put glue on it, it's just there to cover the gap up. But you do not need to worry about gluing it down because it's not necessary. So just go ahead and do that all the way down your shape. as usual, doing a nice little thin amount of glue, not too much, but enough so that it holds. And give it a second to dry before you move on, and just go ahead and do that to the other identical piece. So I've gone ahead and done that to both pieces here, and then as you probably guessed, we're going to just do the same thing again and put glue on all 4 of these tabs, and take your other piece and just line it up real nice with the edge of each piece lining up with the edge of the fold, and work your way down. And don't worry if your apple is looking too pointy, because this is the top here. When we're done, we're going to just poke it down and it'll stay in place. Okay. So to close up the lid, we'll just do the same thing on this side. Just put just enough glue, and then go ahead and line it up and hold it. This top one is probably the trickiest, but just line it up real nice and hold it maybe a little longer than you've been holding the other ones, just so it can definitely get a good grip before you let go, so it doesn't slide out of place. And then just work your way down, putting all of the other ones in place. Okay, so here's our lid, and now we can just set it down and push it down. Pretty easy. Okay, so next let's take our 2 leaves, and yours might look a little, it will look a little different on the bottom. It's actually a little bigger. So go ahead and put glue on this top part of the leaf, but not below the little fold line, and glue your 2 guys together. Then we're going to poke it inside the top here, and then what we want to do is put glue on this side here and then also on this other side, and then spread them apart and hold them while they dry like this. So you can see how it looks from the inside. It's glued down, and here it is from the outside. So now all you're going to do is take this piece and put glue all over it, and just glue that on the inside to finish it off and make it look nice. So now finally we've got our little panels here, and these bigger ones go on the bottom and these go on the top. And as you can see on this apple, before I glued it on, I embossed every other one with some letters, which I think looks cute. The reason I didn't do all of them is because I thought my apple would look too textured, and apples aren't really textured. So I thought it would just be a cute touch if I only did some of them. So to put these on, we're only going to put glue on the top and on the bottom, and then you're just going to put it in place with the bottom edge lined up with the bottom, and with the top edge lined up with the top there. It gives it a nice little curve, makes it look more like a real apple. So go ahead and put all of those on, and then do the same thing here on the bottom. And you're only going to put glue on the top and on the bottom. So next, for our little lunchbox container, I already went ahead and I put together the bottom because the lid is very similar, so you don't need to see me do that. And then for the lid, I've got these 4 pieces here, and I've also got 2 rectangles which are going to go inside at the end to finish it off. And then we've got these 2 pieces here which go on the lid. I've got all my pieces for my handle here, and I've also got 10 little brads and 1 larger brad with 8 of these little donut pieces all pushed onto the brad. So for these little brads, you can use large brads or smaller brads, doesn't matter. Okay, I've also got my little piece of clear plastic cut out to 6.5 by 4.5, and for that I just like to use page protector sheets from the office supply store because I think they are the most easy to find. But any kind of clear plastic will be just fine. Okay, so these two pieces here have tabs on the end of both sides. So we are going to use those tabs to put glue on. And I'm going to grab either one of these other two pieces. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm just going to put this in place here and hold it while it dries. Now I just want to make sure that the tabs are all on the same side. These are tabs here on the top and on the top, and this one has its tabs on the top, and the tabs are also one big tab on the top here. So I'm going to put glue on this other side, on this tab, and I'm going to grab this other piece here. Gotta hold it a little longer while it dries. And I just want to make sure that the corner is lined up real nice with the edge on the fold. Then I'm just going to take this other piece and do the same thing. Just a nice little thin layer of glue. And just put that in place. And hold that while it dries. Now this box is a little different than anything we've had before because of how the corners of the box are rounded. So that's why there's all those crazy score lines in the middle so that it folds around just right. Okay, so our lid is starting to take shape here, and as you can see, this circle part is opposite from these two little hinge parts. So the next thing we're going to do is take a look at these two pieces, and the smaller one is going to go in at the end, so set that aside, and I've got my lid here. So obviously we're just going to glue it on top, but there is a little bit of strategy involved, and I'm going to start by putting glue on this long tab, either on this one or on the opposite side, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to put this in place along the edge, but I want to make sure that it's centered. So once I have this one properly centered, the rest of it will fall into place. And I can see that it is not centered here. I've got way more on this side than I do on this side. So before that dries, I need to take it off so I can readjust it. I'm going to put some fresh glue on here. And I'm going to make sure that it's really centered. So I can see the tab clearly, and I'm going to put it in the middle. And I need to scoosh it down a little bit, just a little bit more. Okay, now it is centered to the best of my ability, and it looks definitely centered. Okay, so that is the most challenging part. After that, everything else is pretty easy, just falls into place. So I'm going to put a little dot of glue on these tabs and also a line down this side tab. And then I'm just going to put it in place and just tell it who's boss. Just put it down where it's supposed to go and hold it while it dries a little bit. And just work your way around. If you are more comfortable flipping it over and working from the other side, that's how I did the other one that I made earlier. Either way totally works. So I'm just lining it up so the edge is nice and flush. And I'm just going to do the same thing down this side here. Now if you want to flip it over and work from this side instead, you can, whatever you feel most comfortable with. So I'm going to put glue on the rest of the pieces I have that are not glued down. And I'm going to flip it over and look at it from the top here and press the corner down from the inside on both sides. And there we go. So when you're putting the bottom together, you're going to do it the same way. It's just the only difference really is that there's no hole and it's a little bit bigger. Okay, so now let's put the clear plastic on, and we're just going to put a thin line of glue, not too close to the edge, because if it squishes out, you're going to see it. So go ahead and push that into place. Mine's a little bit off center, but you get the basic idea. So next we're going to put this on to finish it off and make it look nice. So again, just a nice thin line of glue just right in the middle there. And just put that into place. And move it around until it's centered real nicely on the inside. Okay, so there's the lid. Oops, I got glue on it, but that's okay. Okay, so now to put the lid on, we are going to take a look at the bottom of your box, and one side has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the other side only has 4, which are up a little bit higher. So this side is where your hinge is going to go. So you can go ahead and put your brads through like so and open them up from the other side. And then once those are in place, you can open it up and put one of your rectangles on the inside to cover it up. Now my black paper doesn't really blend in very well, so you might want to pick paper that looks better than mine does. So let's say that our hinge is on. Next we're going to take our large brad with the donuts all pushed onto it, and we're just going to put it in this top center hole and open it up. And that's just going to form a little latch for this little guy to latch onto to keep it closed. So next we have our handle, and the handle is made up of 2 smaller ovals, 1 larger oval, and 8 of these little shapes like this. 4 of them I've already glued on top of each other, so this is 4 layers thick. Go ahead and glue your other 4 together also. And then we've got these 2 shapes which fold in half. So all we're going to do for the handle is take this piece which folds in half and loop it around like that, and then take your larger oval and put a brad through the hole and open it up, and then go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm just going to pretend that I glued these 4 together, and I'm going to do the same thing here with my little brad and put it through this hole and open it up. So there is your handle. Now all we've got left are these little pieces, and they line up with these holes on the front with some room underneath for your handle to go. So just put one of them on, just put one brad on for now, and then take your handle piece and slide that underneath and then put your other brad through and open it up on the other side. And you can be a little more gentle with yours. I'm being a little rough here, but you get the idea. So that's how that guy goes on, and then you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Then you're going to take your second rectangle and glue that on the inside to cover it up, but you can use better paper than I did for this black piece. So there you have it, really fun back to school projects for back to school. So I hope you have fun making them, and good luck to all the kids going back to school. Hope you all have a great year. So if you guys make any of these projects, as always, we would love to see pictures on our Facebook wall or in our forum. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.
Learn more by visiting www.svgcuts.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and watch all of our crafty videos on YouTube. It's a world of crafty content with you in the middle. SVGCuts.com, inspiring you to live creatively and beautifully.